Selling naked puts can make you rich, and in this video I'm gonna compare between how selling puts can win 3 times over buying calls and why this is my preferred method. Let's get started. My name is Eve. I like to sell naked puts for a living to cover all my monthly expenses. Link below. Join us at the school group Retire on Margin. Let's take Apple for an example. I'm going to show you the difference between selling puts and the 3 ways to make money and just buying calls and gamble and hope for the price to go up and why it's not good for you long term. Apple right here, the price is $241. I am looking at all those indicators, okay, and the main thing for me is the ATR. ATR is the average true range that Apple has moved up or down on average in the last 14 days. Price right now $3.60. I'm taking this number, 3.6, and I multiply this by 8. Why 8? Because I like to sell naked puts so far out of the money that if Apple does drop 8 times the ATR, the extreme level of 8 times the ATR, if Apple does go there, then I'll be happy to own 100 shares. And if it doesn't happen, I will collect the premium and I will wait. So I'm going to show you the first selling naked puts, and then I'm going to compare this to just buying plain old call options and see what is better for you long term. So this multiplied by 8, I got a number of 28.8. Let's call it $30. Okay, let's round it up to $30. Apple at 241. Okay, so we're gonna do 241 minus 28.8, about $212. Now I have a number. Around 212 that if Apple drops to this price, I will be happy to own 100 shares of Apple. At that point in time, I will do the wheel, sell cover calls, collect even more income. But if it doesn't happen, I will be a happy camper collecting the income. Now, Apple specifically, as of today, is not an ideal time to sell options on Apple. Why? Because this one, the IVR, this is the indicator that I use. I'm working on a free course to members about all those indicators and Tasty and how everything works and how to set it up. But you can see the IVR $8.23. That is a low number. I like to be an option seller when this price, the IVR, is over 50. Right here, you see, we've done in this channel, we've done 2 times. We sold twice naked puts on Apple. Both will expire worthless in December 20. We did a 190 put. We're now at 240. It's nowhere near close. And then about 2-3 weeks later, we did the 200 puts. Also, will most likely will expire worthless. And now we can do the 210, but I will not do it just buying calls because right now the IVR is below 50. It's way low. There's no volatility. There's no need to sell options on Apple as of today. But the 3 ways to make money on Apple right now when you sell options, remember, you got 3 ways to win. This is beautiful. You're gonna go to Apple. Let's go to the January 17. 45 days to expiration, because Tasty Trade said that, hey, if the most amount of value that the option will lose, the option will decay between day 45 and day 21. That's what they say. That's all the research that they do. I do that as well, and I trust the data that Tasty provide. So I try to aim for selling options around 45-50 days to expiration, and I try to close the trades about 2-3 weeks to expiration, 14 to 21 days before the close. I close most of my trade. You're gonna go to January 17, just so you know. Remember, we had a price of about $30. Okay, remember this number, 212. We are at 241. We are right here. So we're gonna go and look for the 210, 215. This is the range. I'm looking at puts and I'm looking at sell. Okay, I'm looking at puts, I'm looking at sell. and I'm not gonna go, and I'm just gonna show you the puts before why buying calls is not ideal compared to this. I'm gonna go to the 215, which is around 212 give or take. The market makers, just so you know, we got a nice feature of Tasty. They say the price, the expected move of Apple between now and expiration is between this brown line, the 230, and on this side 250. So Apple expected move is between those lines. It's 240 now. They expect to go to 230 to 250. We are selling naked puts. Let's say the 215. We're gonna click here on the 215. We're gonna click sell, $47. It's not a lot because the IVR is so low. It's below 50. But for the example, I'm gonna show you 3 ways that you can win. We got a delta of 6, and we got 27,500 open interest. Very liquid. There's no issues. Okay, there's no issues. You're gonna click on sell. For this specific example, you are collecting $47. It's not a lot. I will not do this trade personally as of today because the IVR is below 50. Plain and simple. But I want to compare this to just buying plain on calls. You have right now, if you do this trade, you're collecting $50, $47, POP, probability of profit, 95% chance that Apple will not go to 215, okay, by expiration. Again, 95% chance to win. Would you rather have 95% chance to win or 5% chance to win if you buy calls? Up to you. Theta decay 236, okay, Theta decay 236, profit 47, the max loss, I usually ignore it. Don't be scared. You're gonna lose 21,000 if Apple goes to zero in the next month half. Can it happen? Yes, theoretically it can happen. For that risk you get paid. I don't get paid much for this trade. That's why I won't do it, because the risk to reward ratio, you gotta pay attention to other stuff, not just technical indicators, but also to IVR. Risk reward is just not here. Buying power on the line, $4,300 only. Okay, that's why I love Tasty. $4,300 only compared to Robinhood, which they want you to do a cash secured put and put $21,500 on the line to collect the same $50. Would you rather put $21,000 on the line, collect $50, or $4,000 on the line, collect $50? What would you rather do? And I won't do any of those because the risk reward to collect $50 is not worth it. If it's below 100 and the IVR is low, I don't take the trade. That's why I have about 200 stocks that I go over every day, and I put in the members area about 3-4 trade ideas every single day. Started yesterday in the school group. Again, link below. So this is what we've done. Now the 3 ways to make money with Apple in selling naked puts on Apple. Number 1, Apple goes up from here. If in the next 45 days, if Apple goes up to from 241 to 242 to 250 to 300, whatever, you win. Why? Because you are selling the 215. Okay, that's number 1. If Apple goes up, you win. This option will expire worthless. There's a 96% chance this option will expire worthless. Number 2, if Apple doesn't do anything. If Apple doesn't do anything, stays around 241, 242 in the next month and a half, it's a possibility. You win. Why? Because you sold the 215. Okay, you sold the 215. That's 2 ways to win selling naked puts. That's why people say selling naked puts is risky. I said no. Buying calls is risky long term for your longevity, for capital preservation, and for you to collect some monthly income and pay your bills. I sell naked puts. As I said, the second way to win is if Apple goes nowhere. The third way that you win, 3 ways to win, is if Apple drops so much, they drop so much that they are trading at the price of 215 and 1 cent. If Apple trade between now and the next 45 days at 215 and 1 cent, you still win. How crazy is this? If Apple drops 8 times the ATR, about $27 from here, which is a lot in a month and a half, can it happen? Sure. But if it does happen and they still close the trade, Apple closes it at like, I don't know, 216, 220, 218, 2 whatever, 225, 230, 235, 240, whatever the case, as long as it's above 215, this option will expire worthless. 3 ways to win. Let's sum it up. Apple goes up, you win. Apple stays the same, you win. Apple goes down up to 8 times the ATR, all the way to 215 and 1 penny, you win. That's it. That's why I sell naked puts, to collect the income. You're not gonna get rich from that. Money management is key, but you can pay your bills, pay your rent, buy food, pay your car, electric, all that stuff every month, help with retirement. That's the end goal. Now, let's compare this to just buying calls. We're gonna remove this and let's do the same thing. Let's do Apple buying calls. Here's the calls and I'm gonna do buy, okay? Now let's go back to the price. We are now at 240, okay? The same thing, the same amount, 28 ATR, okay? The 8 ATR is about $30, as we said. We did a 215, so we're gonna do the same thing. 215 is about $25. So we're gonna go from 240, $25 is 265 right here. Same thing. I'm gonna click this time on calls and I'm gonna click on buy. 265, $60, okay? This is the same thing, just on the opposite. 8 times the ATR. This is crazy, the amount that you pay. Delta 8, okay? Delta 8, 44,000 open interest. You got a debit. You are paying, okay? You are paying. You have a privilege. Look how crazy it is. Now we're just buying calls. We're buying 8 times the ATR calls. Sure, you will make money when you do 8 times 8 ATR on MicroStrategy a month ago or on Tesla a month ago. If you take all your trades in the last year just buying calls, are you really in profit? If you're just buying calls, or are you losing more than you're winning? You gotta think longevity and your end game, okay, and your end goal. You are paying for the privilege to buy Apple at $265, $60. Same thing. Remember, we collected. They paid us They paid us $50 for us to sell 100 shares of Apple at $215, which we don't own. We will own them at expiration a month and a half from now if it goes to that price. If it doesn't, someone just paid us $50. Great. Now you are buying calls, you're paying $60 up front for the privilege to buy Apple at $265 because you're betting that the price will go even higher than $265 in the next month and a half. How crazy is this? This is absolutely insane. Can it happen? Can Apple go to 300 and all that stuff? Sure. Now remember, the market makers are expecting, look at the brown line, market makers are expecting a move between now and expiration of 230 to 250. And this dotted line right here, you see here, this is the 1 standard deviation, 275 is 2 standard deviation. You're buying calls, you're paying $60. This option is worthless. This option is worthless. You're paying $60 just for the time decay because there's still a month and a half for this to happen. We are at 240. We are 240 and you're buying 265 calls because you're betting that the price will be even higher and you think you will make money. Instead of selling 8 ATR and collect $50, you are buying 8 ATR and paying $60 for that privilege. Now look what you have. Sure, you don't need to put $4,000 on the line to sell the 215 or $21,000 on the line to sell the same 215 on Robinhood. You're only putting $60 on the line. That's your max loss. I'll give you that. But look at this. POP, probability of profit, 10%. That means that you have 90% chance that Apple will not be above 265 by expiration. The break even is actually 265.6, 265.59. But let's just make it rough numbers. 10% chance to win every day, negative 2.7 delta. Every day you go to sleep, you wake up, this option lost $2.7 until it expires worthless. Yes, your max profit is infinite. Let's say Apple goes to 500 in the next month and a half, double from here. Is it possible? Yes, anything is possible. Then you win, and you win big for the 60 bucks that you risk. Sure, but is it worth long term for longevity to bet that Apple or any other stock, just buy calls? Is it worth it to have a 10% chance of winning, and you will win some of them? Again, MicroStrategy. There's tons of like stocks that exploded this month, this year, and every year in general. But if you do 100 trades, 90 of them will lose, and the other 10, you will probably don't have enough money to execute the other 10 that is left after you lost 90% of your net liquidity value and your life savings. If you just do calls, buying calls, in my humble opinion. Okay, that's what I think. I've done that. I've done this stuff. I'm at my 40 plus. At this point in my life, I just like to sell options. So far out of the money on forever stocks, collect income that help me supplement my monthly bills, pay all the bills, so I'm chill. And I'm not trying to become rich from selling 8 times the ATR options. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to pay all the monthly bills from this. I don't need a large bankroll, but everything goes against you when you buy calls. Now, the three ways that you can lose just buying calls. If Apple goes down, remember, if Apple goes down, you lose because you got 265. They need to be above 265.6 to break even. If Apple goes down, you lose by expiration. Number two, if Apple stays the same, if Apple just trades sideways around 240 to 41 to 42, you lose because you need Apple to go to 265. The third way to lose, if Apple does go up so much, they go up 8 ATR, up to 8 ATR, and they touches like 265, 264, you lose. You need Apple to go above 265.6. That is almost 8 ATR. That is insane. In a month and a half. Can it happen? Sure, it just happened. MicroStrategy just 5x in the last year or so, and like 200% in a month. Of course it's possible. Anything is possible. That's why your max loss is only 60 bucks. I get it. But long term, would you rather collect 50 bucks and wait for Apple to come down to you, or would you rather gamble a lot less money, but eventually, if you do this again, if you have a 10% chance to win, I prefer to be on the other side that has 96% chance to win, collect the money up front instead of paying money up front and have 10% chance to win. Choice is yours. Subscribe, join a school group. I'll see you next time.